guys, welcome to another video. I'm the Worm, this is the Proton. Today we're going to be reviewing the Vision Nano, which is tiny.
Proper small.
It is so small. But obviously I haven't even taken it out of the packet yet, so we are going to be going through this all the way through.
We call it an unboxing, but there's no box. It's unpackaging.
It's an unwrapping.
It's an opening.
So yeah, let's just go for this.
Scissors on the table. No, they're not here. Scissors!
Because we are boss men.
Come prepared. This, whilst I'll point out, this is a £2.99 sort of single-use bottom-fed clearomizer from Vaporscape. It's a Vision-made one, which is why we went with it.
It's getting close on this one, guys. Oh, broken it already. Sorry, shouted at you. There we go. Right.
Compare that to the size of a bow cutter. We've just done the review on them guys as well. It is actually
the same size.
It's the same size as a bow cutter with a drip tip. So there you go. So that's basically well, effectively it is, isn't it? That's basically the clearomizer alternative to a disposable cartomizer.
Well, that's different.
What does that do? Screw into the middle centre prong, does it? Well, screws into the centre prong and then it forms a seal. Yeah, screws into the centre prong and forms a seal around the tank.
I want to show you that, guys. Look, I mean, if you're used to the V3s, that is so different.
Yeah, it is a bit different, isn't it?
So,
I mean, it's a bit weird that they've done that, because I would have preferred it if it had gone all the way up and they made the drip tip that slits inside, because you get a bit more juice in there. Whatever.
But that's how they made it.
But
that's how this is in purple.
£2.99, you can't go wrong. We thought we'd give it a go and throw it out there, just because it is very thin. It looked brilliant on a little micro-light battery, as a sort of cigarette alternative, but moving towards clearomizers. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it looks like that. That is a bottom coil. I don't know if you can see the hole on that. You're probably not going to get to.
Is that little boochers?
It looks like it's some sort of wadding in there instead rather than a wick.
You may have that silicon sleeve with some silica wick inside.
Maybe. We don't know until we take it apart, and we won't know that until...
It's similar to that to CE8 in terms of you've got holes, but unlike CE8, these were smart enough on a disposable to put the holes at the bottom so it will be filled away to the bottom. And also, well, it's basically like CE8 because it's still silica wick with a coil one in it. But basically that's what it is. £2.99, 510 connection, vaporscape.co.uk.
I'm just going to fill this up now with some menthol we got.
Menthol tobacco. They do say this is disposable, but you're going to be able to put this entire unit in vodka once a week, leave it overnight, and it's probably going to go for a good couple of months. So for £2.99 you can't go wrong. 1.1 ml of juice, which is, there you go. Well,
I've gone pretty close.
Well, I've just filled that up there. We haven't got a clue what this is going to be like. It's just a little clearomizer. Expectations are not super duper high for £2.99. But this is going to be what they're rivaling basically as your cartomizer for your small batteries, so you can still have a cigarette looking device. There are advantages to this already over a cartomizer. You can see how much juice you've got in it for one. For two, it's a lot easier to refill. So one of them ones. It is very shiny, but for the same price as a carto, you've got a lot more going on in there. It does look exactly the same
the carto did on there.
But you have got a lot more going on in there, haven't you? Because you've got a complete coil set up, you've got a tube, you've got a drip tip, you've got a 510 connection. Obviously Carter has most of that stuff as well, but that looks like it should be more than £2.99.
Unlike the Carter, you can, obviously like you were saying, you can see where your juice is, so you know when to fill it up.
And you're not going to get the unrecoverable burnt taste. So
I'm going to give this a couple of dry hits,
dry hit, just
to hopefully get a primer bit going so it doesn't get a burnt taste.
Our expectation, we've just reviewed the bow carters literally 2 seconds ago, moved on to this video now, we said we was going to, and we did. But basically, our expectations for this are not super duper high. I mean, at very best, we're expecting something that performs as well as a V3. What resistance is that running on?
I'm just checking it now. It's a 1.3.
It's a 1.3, so it's...
Oh no, 1.8 has gone up to.
So there you go, 1.8. So it's obviously made to be running on your 3.7 volt batteries. That's kind of the butter zone for 3.7s, which is why whenever we've recommended stuff,
I'm going to go for 3.6 just in case.
3.6 and give it a go. It's going to take a minute. I might as well flap you.
I'm still priming this, sorry guys.
Oh yeah, I'll check while she's doing that. But yeah, basically the idea of this was for £2.99. It's the price of 2 V3s, but with the V3s, now and again you may need to buy a new body and stuff like that. If it performs as well, it's very, very thin, so you could literally carry a 5ml bottle of juice with you, that and a little PCC, a little charging dock, because that would fit in the same slot as a cartomizer in your PCC. It could be a nice little clearomizer alternative for the same size, and it's looking good. You having some issues, mate? Well, it looks like Worm's having some priming issues. Again, we don't know what's going on in there, but it looks from the outside, your metal prong's got 2 holes in it. It looks like there's a silicone sleeve around those holes, and then I'm guessing some wick in there somewhere. It may even be a cartomizer coil setup in there. We haven't got a clue. So it's one of them ones.
It's going through now, guys. I mean, I'm getting there slowly. It's going to take me another minute or so, so he's going to
new device is going to take a little while. But, I mean, I'm going to sort of tell you why I think these could be good, because, like, well, basically the points I've touched on already, which is it is cigarette sized. If, I mean, with the drip tip on, without the drip tip, it's the same size as the Bocato. Add the drip tip to the Bocato, they're the same size. Put that on a Riviera or something. I think Riviera is a 901 connection, but a Riviera size battery, I know they do those in 510s everywhere. Little manual, that in black, they do that in black and clear and green. That in black was a black battery, could just look pretty cool. At a glance you wouldn't be able to tell it's not a cigarette. And it's just something that's nicely sized, top pocket, kind of out and about on the town, having a drink, don't really care about it, kind of vaping stuff. If you're into your Vamos, Bravaris, your mods, this isn't something that's really probably going to interest you, because you'd probably just buy Bocato to sort of fill that need if it was there. But I like the idea of this because it's Bocato sized. If it comes anywhere close to it, I'd rather have this because it is going to last longer. It just is.
Sorry guys, I am just going to drip some down that center tube just to get it going.
There you go. We're not entirely sure what we're meant to be doing with priming this. To be honest with you, we haven't read anything about them.
I've literally put 2 drips down there. So
is it having some wicking issues? Is it?
I don't know.
Try it.
No, I don't really know. It's vaping. I'm getting a slight bit of taste. It doesn't feel burnt, but it doesn't feel right.
We'll just try it in a second. If not, let me have a go and see what I think. Because it could just be how the device performs.
It could be how it's screwed into the Bravaris. The air holes are quite low on that 510 connection, and it might not be getting enough air.
Put your extension cap on.
I might just whack it on this.
Okay, we're going to tie it on the spinner instead, guys.
I mean, if you look, it's covering up those air holes.
Then don't screw it all the way in.
You have to. Look how.
But the spinner's got air hole grooves cut into it. Sorry, guys. The spinner's got grooves cut into it, so it should be fine.
No, I suppose.
So
it's
I know the Bravaris got grooves cut into it, but my dear fuck.
That actually fits flush before it's actually.
There you go.
Let's turn this down to 3.7 ish. Let's give us another go on the spinner.
When you getting vape off it. Sorry guys, this is a very we ain't got a clue.
Okay, that's coming through now.
There you go. It's just a little bit of priming is standard. I mean, that's still not as much fuss as priming.
You saw how much I filled up to, and that's how much has gone down already.
Okay, so
that's
obviously
priming,
some wicks to get wet and stuff in there, but it's. I mean, it may be polyfill in there. We haven't got. We really don't know. All right, but yeah. I mean, still. It's
I just saw this for £3. I thought we'll give it a go, see how it goes.
Well, if they're good, like I say, they could last you up to a month or two, just once a week putting it in vodka. So if you've got a few of them on rotation, for a tenner you could get 3-4 of them with discount codes. Could be pretty cool. So
you want to try any Vamo?
Yeah, let's have a go. Let me see.
See if he's got better air holes on his Vamo going on.
Let's see what we've got going on here. Sorry guys, we're very.
It's on. Turn down to about 3.8 on voltage, mate.
Yeah, let's whack it on 4.
It's going to burn.
It's fine. It's fine.
Right, it's on 4. Okay, it must have been just a wicking issue at the beginning. It's probably because it's quite a small device that it's obviously maybe takes a little bit of priming, just like some. Maybe 30 seconds of dry hitting that just to get it coming through.
It's a tighter draw. It's definitely.
It's a very tight draw.
So no, I can loosen it. I can loosen it off to there.
Better? Slightly. Oh, okay, so you can adjust it.
I do want to point out we've been using DDAs and they're slightly looser draw. I'd say this draw is about equivalent to a Nova. It's just it's certain Novas on certain devices. All right. Yeah. But it is a slightly tighter draw than what we've been used to. I've left this a little bit slack on the connection, but it's still firing.
It's nice. The flavour comes through. The vapours are the same as a V3.
Look at it.
It is the same as a V3. Maybe a little bit better than the V3.
Try it on the Vamo, man. That's on 4 volts. Try that.
It's nice.
I'm not sure what to say. That's really cool, actually.
Really surprising.
Yeah, I didn't expect it.
Slightly burning a little bit, man.
Slightly burning. Okay, well maybe not.
4's a little bit too high.
It seemed fine to me, but Yeah, I mean that I've only had a couple of pulls, guys, and obviously this isn't something that you expect to last forever. It's disposable, so realistically, you're looking at a couple of weeks' use, and you should really be chucking it away. But let's just face it, we're going to chuck it in vodka, clean it out, and keep using it. It's cost us £3. If it lasts 2 weeks, it's cost you £1.50 a week. If you're a Kato user, you're probably spending that anyway. And this is the advantage of being nice and small, and disadvantage of being small because obviously Kato tank users are going to be holding 6mm. This holds 1.
That's on 3.6 volts at the moment, guys, and that's still vaping the same, without that burnt taste that I was slightly getting. But then again, he did have a few pulls on it once it's been primed quite well.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I'll probably start to run slightly dry because it was only pulling from the tank. Yeah, I'm really surprised. I mean, we did get it in gay purple just because we didn't want to get it in clear, basically. But they got quite a few colours: green,
yellow, black. I think there was clear
for £2.99.
It's not a bad little hit.
That's not a bad. That's the flavour of that's actually. The menthol's coming from more. The menthol's coming through more than it just was on them Bocatos we've just reviewed.
I'm still getting the taste of the tobacco.
That's really nice for what it is.
This is actually better than a Bogue.
In our opinion, we haven't bedded them Bogues in. I don't doubt them Bogues are better.
But we haven't bedded this in either.
Yeah, but they bed in quicker.
They do bed in quicker.
Bogues need a good day, but
we don't know what's in it. It could be the same.
It could be. Should we just crack on with this?
Yeah, you will just crack on. It looks nice. I think like the Katos is very sleek, and it's going to look nice on like your little
Riviera
Stars batteries and that, and it's going to look quite sleek. And obviously, the advantage of this is you can see where your juice level is,
and you can just drop more juice in there. You haven't got to prime it. You can do this realistically when you're pissed, and I think these are.
I think you could with this one because the prong comes above that where your tube is,
and pour it in. But I think this and the Bocatos are for the purpose we see them fit to be providing. Basically, if you compare it to a DDA, no, it's not. It's not good. It's not good. But then it's only £3. DDA
£3 if you're going out and not on a piss up and that. Fill one of these up. You can keep filling it up, and if you lose it, it's £3.
Yeah, I mean, yes. So we'll review these for the purpose we see them for, which is the out and about vape. If you're sitting indoors, let's face it. Buy yourself a Nova, buy yourself a DDA, buy yourself what you feel comfortable using.
Buy yourself a Dripper Pro and a Pravari.
Well, yeah, but if you can afford, but I mean, you've got different levels of skill set. I mean, some people just use disposable cigarettes, in which case this would be the next step for you. This and a Riviera battery. If you're using that kind of stuff and you want a next step, you move on to a V3 or a Nova. Probably a V3 with an Ego, and then a bigger. You want a spinner with a Nova. Then you'd want something like a Vamo and a Dripper, and eventually you get onto the E-Barons and you get onto your killer tanks and you get onto your Pravaris and your DNA 20 mods and that kind of stuff. But for what I think that is suitable for what I can see me using it for, which is out and about on the piss with a small battery, so it looks like a cigarette, very kind of discreet in comparison to things like the Vamo. Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad looking device at all. If you've got a similar sized battery, that's an 8 all day long. It's a good looking little thing.
I'm quite enjoying the vapor of this.
Yeah, is it? Well, stop being selfish. Ha ha ha. Go on,
yeah, it looks amazing. Like I say, it looks like very similar to the Bogue, except for the advantage on this, and you can get coloured tanks on this, so you can pick whatever colour you want. If you want a green one, you get a green one. If you want a blue one, you get a blue one. Go for it. I mean, it's going to fit whatever device you want to fit whatever colour scheme you want. If you can have a couple of them and fucking coordinate with colour if you're a woman. Whatever.
I coordinate with colour, you cock.
Well, he's gay, so
says the man who's just bought like a load of different coloured tanks.
And different coloured tanks.
You've just got a blue tank for your Nova. You've just got a blue DDA.
I've got a full blue.
He got a
metal tank.
Odyssey drip tip because it had the holes built into it, so it matched the Pravari.
For a Pravari. If you're going to buy a Pravari, you go all out.
Matching, dick face.
I don't see the matching colours, do I? No minge face.
Well, that's because you're homosexual.
You're gay.
Obviously not. But looks, yeah, looks. I think it's nice. I do think it's nice.
I don't want to give it a number really. I'm just going to say it looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it. You make your own kind of mind up on looks. But on a Pravari, it looks silly. On a Vamo, it looks silly. But similar sized battery, it's going to look like a little 8 out of 10 device. Just puff, puff, puff. It definitely performs better than any of them Sky 6 do.
Usability? Except for the initial prime that I had a little bit of trouble with. It might not be every one.
But then you could just have filled that up and left it for half an hour, I'd imagine. Yeah. What is there to do? Unscrew it, fill it, put it on. Yeah, it's 9 for me. It's easy to use. You can't go wrong, and the thing is with this, there's no ATI-heads to replace, so it's even easier to use than the Novas and the V3s, because you literally pour your liquid in, it starts to go a bit funny, order 2 at the same time obviously, starts to go a bit funny, use your second one, chuck this one in vodka, you're good.
Realistically on maintenance with this, I'm seeing this as a throwaway device. for £3 that will probably last you about 3 weeks. If you're going to change flavours, you can slowly work through the flavours if you want to.
Or rinse it out.
Or you can rinse it out, but maintenance is really kind of when it breaks, throw it away.
There is none. There is none.
There's a 10.
Maintenance is a 10 if you're going to throw it away as it starts to go bad. If you plan on putting it in vodka overnight and letting it air dry and then using it again, which is what I would do, because a shot glass full of vodka is going to cost you less than another one of these, and it's going to probably make it last twice as long. Maintenance is 9.999. It's just you glass vodka, this goes in, job done. What more is it to say on
flavour is good.
It's good for what it is. I take back the better than the Bogues. I think it's because I had a very, very nice juicy pull. As
a standard, it's nice.
Yeah.
For what it is, if you're using it,
it's not a V3, not quite a V3, but it ain't far.
It isn't far.
6 or 7 out of 10.
Bogues are
Better than a V3.
Yeah.
Better than a Nova. But
I think this is just under the V3.
But
just, I mean, you're talking like
6.5 out of 10. We give the V3 7, so 6.5 out of 10. This is a good flavour when you consider what it is. Again, for the second video in a row, better than I expected.
Very much better than what I expected.
Vapour?
Similar to the V3, it is there.
I'd personally say the V3 would be better. I'd say
probably over a long run.
I'd say initially the V3 is better, to be honest with you.
It's very close again. It's one of those. It's very hard to tell because like that's on 3.6 volts and like.
Yeah, but you can't really push this any harder. You've got to work with what you've got.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Vapour is, I mean,
it's very close to the V3 again or C5. Very close. I don't think it's far off, but it's not quite touching it on that regard. But it's nice. It's a nice amount. It's gonna outdo the e-cig things by a mile.
Out of 10.
6.
For me, I think I give the V3 a 7 or an 8. I'm going to give this a 5 or a 6. It's not that the Vapour's bad, it's not that there isn't enough of it, because there is. If you're imitating a cigarette, this is still more smoke than you get off a cigarette. It just is. But it's not quite as good as the V3. So comparing it against V3s and stuff and Bogues, which are really the main comparison for this, is a standard Bogue Carto. Yeah, 5 or a 6. But don't take that as this being bad. It's not. It's just not as good as a Bogue. But this is a lot easier to use.
Very much.
I mean, given the choice now,
I had to pre-fill the Bogues.
And you have, I mean, you seem to rip through that meal quite quickly, and if you burn them, they're unrecoverable, and you have to boil them really to get them to good wash. And
we sort of filled that up and off I went. Well,
I think one of the main problems with this, wicking wise, is because if you look how close that metal tube is to the outside of that wall. I reckon if they increase that gap by half a mil either side, because it's very close, that metal tube, to the wall, it's probably just because you're struggling to get a sufficient amount of liquid through at once. But yeah, Vapour for me is like 5 or 6. It's good. It's not bad by any means. It really isn't. It's just not like a V3, but the V3 is replaceable. It's not a Bogue, but the Bogues are Carto, and the Bogue Cartos really are what a lot of pros use in tanks. And it's the Carto doing all the work. The tank just feeds it juice. You expect it to be more, but you put a lot more work into it. It's like trying to compare a Nova to a DDA. It's just the DDAs perform better, but they're more work. And the idea of something like this is it's easy. For me anyway, it is. You fill it up, you take it out, you get pissed, you screw it onto a battery.
I'm assuming that's something that you do put it on like the little e-cig batteries and that.
I mean, it's not compulsory. That's what the Bogue Cartomizers were designed for. It's a cartridge atomizer. They were designed like for disposable cigarettes. That's what they were designed for. So yeah, they are designed to go on them little things.
But if you've got a 510 battery which you're using your e-cig refillables from the market store wherever you are, spending 25 quid on 5 of them, go and get one of these.
Or Bogue Cartos. If you're happy using Cartomizers and you're happy priming them, buy the Cartos. They perform better than this. But if you don't want to put the work in, you want something that's just going to work, this.
Done the job.
Overall.
For what it is?
For price, what it is, what it does.
For price, what it is and what it does.
Everything, just
9. For compared to V3s and that, 6.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Overall, for what it is, what it's capable of, what it costs, what it does, and what it delivers. I'm going to add another section to this 5-point limit. I'm going to make this one a 6-point just for this one. But yeah, overall, for everything included, it's an 8. And compared to the V3, it's a 5 for me. The V3 was a 7.
So you're just pointless on each.
Yeah, pretty much. It's not quite there, but then you don't expect it to be. Even the V3s compared to this are harder work. You've got to replace stuff with. This is designed to go puff, 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 chuck, chuck, chuck. It's not designed for you to dip it in vodka, but that is an option. If you just want to use this until it goes bad after a month, chuck it away. It's cost you £3. The cartomizers that you are using are costing you about a £5 a go. Well, no, even if you buy the cheap ones, they're costing you £2, £2.20 a go, and you can go through 3 of them in a day. This will last you 3 weeks, and you can put any liquid of your choice in. I know you can with cartos, but it's not as easy. There's not as much customizability, and in my opinion, this looks better than this. It just does. I mean, unfortunately, Worms put pretty much the same drip tip on there, so you can see what they are. Personally, I prefer that. I just think it's nicer. I think it's a bit more customizability to it, and that's black or stainless. This, loads of different colours. You can see your juice level. And I think the 6th category I'm going to add to this is just pros and cons. And I know that's what the whole idea of the thing is, but what I mean is, cons of this would be there isn't enough room between that sidewall to wick it properly. A mil more, half a mil either side, this could be performing better. It's not that it performs bad, but it could perform better. I don't think I have another con to it. I don't think there is one.
There isn't.
Yes, there is. The drawer is tight. The drawer is tight.
But that is preference again.
Yeah, it's not, if you're used to doing your disposable cigarette things that you just buy like 50, 500 puffs, whatever, and chuck away, you're used to doing big, long, drawn-out pulls that are very airy. With this, it's the opposite. It's harder pulls that are quite tight, but this isn't miles from a V3. In terms, it's tighter, but it isn't miles from a V3. No. So,
I wouldn't say it's a con. It's just,
it's not. I think it's a con for me. I think it's going to be a con for a lot of people who vape stuff like V3s, Novas.
If you do like a tighter drawer, you're going to love this.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's very. If you was smoking sort of normal cigarettes, it's a bit tighter than that. If you were smoking rolling tobacco, like manual roll-ups with a filter, like we were, I used to roll mine quite tight. It's a similar draw to that, actually. Yeah. It is. So it's not a con as such, but it's a con to a vapor. If you're someone using them disposable cigarettes, personally, I would prefer that over them disposable cigarette pulls. And you can just, this is just better. This is it's good. It is good for £2.99. It's just, you can't go wrong. No. It's similar. Basically, the Bogue review we've just done, the Bogues perform slightly better. They're more work, but the end result is the same. We're both pleasantly surprised by this. I think I can say that for you as well. I wasn't expecting much from this at all, to be honest. I was expecting this to be really poor. It's not actually. It's not really poor. It's a good little Clearomizer, I suppose. Yeah, it does what it says on the tin. Unlike the cartomizers you buy from the market or Sky Cigs and whatever else, not they don't do what they say on the tin. They do what they say, but they taste rank most of the time. They don't deliver that well. They go dry pretty quick, and you have to chuck them away every time. They're costing you about £4 a go. This costs you £3 once a month. Put your own liquid in there, which will cost you a tenner a month. So what you're spending in 4 days on the Sky Cigs, it will last you a month on these. If you're someone who's using them electric cigarettes, this is probably somewhere you want to move to if you want to stay around that kind of size. If you want to go bigger, V3. If you want to go bigger again, Nova definitely. But otherwise, you want to stay around like this, get yourself a little manual Riviera, couple of them, 300 mAh, couple of them.
Vision Nano.
Vision Nanos. A bottle of juice. What more can you want? 30 quid, you've got exactly what you need to do what you want to do, and it looks like a cigarette. It performs better than a cigarette because it doesn't give you black death, cancer, AIDS, lungs. Yeah, I actually really like this for what it is. Pleasantly surprised. Definitely better than any cartomizers you're using that are from Microlite, Sky Cig wannabe things. Not quite as good as the Bogues.
You're going round in circles.
I don't care, not quite as good as the Bogues, but
it is nice.
Good.
I can see me using this when I need to.
I'd actually consider buying a little Riviera battery, to be honest. After having used that, I would consider buying one. Even as the vapor I am, I would actually mind having one of those and a small Riviera battery in my drawer, just to go out with.
There you go.
5 more bottle of juice and I'm good for the night. It's good. That's all we're going to say, guys.
I think it's for that one.
Yeah, thumbs up for that, guys. That's a good device.
It is a very nice little device.
For what it is. If you're ordering from Vaporscape, chuck one on. You're not going to be sorry about it.
It's alright.
It's not a Nova, it's not a V3. It was never going to be. It is better than you think it's going to be.
But it is small.
It is very small, and the girls, if they think the V3s and stuff are too big, which I haven't met many that do, but if they do,
there we go.
There you go. I think pros outweigh negatives when it comes to that compared to both. The fact you can see your juice level is going to last you longer, there's no real work involved in it, and you haven't really got any chance of getting a bad one that doesn't work when you order it.
No.
For £3, do it. Just even experienced vapor, just give it a go and let us know if you agree with us. Are we wrapping up?
Yeah, let's wrap up.
Let's wrap up.
We'll wrap this one up, guys, and we'll get on to the next one.
We might manage an under 20-minute video. Alright, guys.
It's already over like 30 minutes.
I don't think it is.
It is.
Stop being racist. I have been Mr. Proton. He has been the Worm. See you soon, guys. Thanks for watching.
See you next time, guys.